if you know you're a spiritual being, you have all you need. You come here for a purpose. You have all the worthy thing that you need inside, the gift, the love, the treasure.
Yeah.
You are only the person. Nobody is a copy like
Yes.
you.
Episode 9, The Business of Being Worthy. Hello, everyone. This is Rooted and Becoming podcast. I'm your host, Lei Lei Sengchanthalangsy. Episode 9 is The Business of Becoming Worthy. Today's conversation is a special one because it sits at the intersection of identity, resilience, and what it truly means to live from a place of worth. I'm deeply honored to welcome Dr. Samlee Maat. Dr. Samlee Maat is a memoir author, speaker, and former medical device software quality leader. Like so many of us in this community, her story begins with displacement and courage. Born in Laos, she came to the United States as a refugee and built her life through education, service, and unwavering commitment to growth. She is the author of the Light from Within memoir series and the Thinking Well books, where she offers a beautifully yet simple and powerful framework for recognizing one's worth, thinking clearly, and living with purpose. Through her work, Dr. Mott reminds us of something many of us were never taught, that our worth is not something we earn, prove, or achieve. It has always been within us. And when we begin to trust that truth, we start to live differently. We start to lead differently. We start to build our lives, our businesses, our legacy from a place of clarity and alignment. In today's episode, we explore what it means to truly embody worth, not just personally, but professionally. How do we move from survival to sovereignty, from external validation to internal trust? And what does it look like to build a life and a business that reflects who we truly are? This conversation is for anyone who has ever questioned their value and is ready to remember it. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Dr. Samlee Maat.
Sabadi, Sabadi. Wow.
Sabadi,
That
sabadi.
was powerful introduction. Thank you so much.
Oh, you are so welcome. Sabadi Bimai.
Sabadi Pimai. So deep Pimai.
Sakti Bimai. That's right.
Yeah.
Right. Oh my goodness. Before we get into this very important topic about worthiness, I want to ask you, just to break the ice and give our listeners something to look forward to with you. Can you share a couple of things that you are looking forward to in 2026 now with the Lao New Year? And would love to hear what you are most excited about in 2026.
Yes, absolutely. I am looking forward to finish more of my memoirs.
Mm-hmm.
Number three, my memoir is being reviewed. I sent to the reviewer as well as I sent it already to my publisher to review and
Uh-huh.
add it to format. And then while it's doing that, I am working on my fourth memoir, recalling my memory of my Navy life, uh,
Uh-huh.
where I left my entire family the first time far away to boot camp in Orlando, Florida. And then that's where I did my boot camp. So this fourth memoir is include my story, romantic story where I met my husband today. My not my high school sweetheart is my Navy sweetheart. So,
Uh-huh.
so that's my fourth memoir. I'm working on that right now. And then my last one's gonna be about my professional life with career, with education, and how I found my purpose. That's my focus right now to finish them all that. And then the next step we're trying to do the audio as well as my thinking well framework.
I am so excited. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank
I
you.
I just want to let you know that I finished before I became a refugee girl,
Yes.
and I finished the Waiting to Fly.
Oh,
I'm
you did a great
Yes,
job.
I did. I'm looking forward to the third book. I'll be waiting anxiously for that. Such very powerful stories. Thank you so much for sharing it with your readers. I think it's so inspirational, and I cannot wait to recommend this to others who want to be inspired and to be able to find hope and resilience through adversity. I mean, you have so many stories that I was in tears throughout and laughed as well.
Yes.
Very heartfelt. Thank you so much for sharing a part of you and giving us hope that we can overcome adversity.
Yes, that's a similar theme when you said sometimes you cry, sometimes you laugh, because that's how all the feedback I got so far. I said, I can't believe it. I was laughing and crying through the book. What my purpose of sharing my story is that I want to share the story to preserve the history where we came from. While I was starting my first book,
Mhm.
I feel like I need to share with other people to help uplift and encourage them and to see their own strength in the story, because we all face adversaries. So I want them to feel like they're not alone. And then,
Yeah.
of course, you said it in the beginning that we already have everything we need inside to do whatever we want to do, because we were born worthy.
Yes, yes. Oh, I 100% agree with that. Dr. Samli Mat, I wanted to ask you if you can give our listeners a little context, because your story of being a refugee girl and coming to the US, please walk us through your personal story of how you came to the US. Would love to share that with the listeners.
Do you want me to focus on waiting to fly or also as an immigrant?
We can start with Waiting to Fly, and then we'll move into your stories and how it relates to our topic about being worthy, because I know
Okay.
you have many stories to share with us.
Oh, yes. So my story started later in my life than your family, because your sister came here when she was 11. Okay. I didn't leave Laos until I was like 13 and a half. Then we went to refugee camp in Nong Khai, Thailand. I was there until I was 18.
Mhm.
So we got stuck in the refugee for almost 5 years. Then, in the refugees, life was simple, but it was not easy, because it's a period of waiting. You don't know, you're waiting for the news, you're waiting for change, you're waiting for futures. I remember clearly as day. One morning, for some reason, I found myself standing at the front gate, looking not at the gate. I found myself looking through the gate and beyond, wondering if my life will ever be different, wondering if it will just stay the same, get stuck in this, refugee camp. So being a child, looking back, like, wow, I wish I can help my family. So we were there, that's what the Waiting to Fly is about a life in the refugee as a little girl, just waiting, seeing people got sick and tired of waiting. Some people got sick and then just die right in front of me. Some, you know, it was just terrible. And during that time, I didn't realize those years were shaping me, were forming me, getting me ready for what I would become later in life. But at that time, it was just like when you are in the pit of the sorrow, you didn't know. But later on, of course, looking back, especially when I start writing my first book, I realized that's what's going on. It's just like preparing me for something else.
Something
So
something greater, something bigger.
yes, and then when we finally got sponsored in 1980, I was already 18. Then we landed I didn't know at the time, we were in California, in San Francisco, but we were there for one night. The next morning, they flew us to Rochester, New York. So yes, then I was in Rochester for 4 years. They put me in 10th grade, high school, 10th grade. I didn't speak any English. I was 18 or 19, depends on, the real age was actually 19, but
Um,
the paper was 18. I was in high school until I was 22.
oh, okay. Okay.
You know, yeah.
Yeah.
And then through that high school year, a lot of things going on. That's my third book. It's about language of freedom. That's where the culture conflict come in. You have
Mhm.
to learn to survive in high school is already difficult, right? And then you have to learn English at the same time.
Yes.
Then in my third book, I was talking about how my dream when I was in the village, I always want to be in some kind of school. I want to get educated.
Oh,
I think in my first book, I think you may remember, I always dream carrying my book. I was a little kid carrying my book, following people trying to go to school.
I
So
remember you talked about visiting a college.
yes, yes, I always want. And then when I was in Rochester, New York, being an immigrant in my language of freedom, even though we've been through all kinds of, challenges, that dream always in my head. So, and then I decided to leave my family, to leave everything, to start brand new. So I joined the Navy. So,
Wow. Wow.
so crazy girl. I joined the Navy. I was the oldest. So
Mhm.
that's how the Navy just keep me. I mean, 100%, maybe more, a confidence boost.
Uh-huh. What did you
I,
do in the Navy?
I okay. We came here with green card, right? So I joined as a green card holder. You can't just go to any field that you want because you are not citizen yet. So I end up okay. They said, "What do you want to do?" I said, "I want to be an engineer." I didn't even know what engineer was about.
It
So
sounded interesting and challenging and
yeah,
prestigious all at once.
yes, like I didn't even, when we were growing up in the village as a farmer, money is like never there. We didn't even talk about money. Okay, we just trying to survive, right? And then when we got stuck in refugee, we still trying to survive. But we were grateful for what we had. But when we came to the United States, we were trying our hard to prove that we worthy, to prove that we belong.
Yeah.
We tried so hard to prove that we belong in high school. We belong. I was in the Navy, at work, a career, right? We've
Yeah.
been doing that through our life.
Right.
So I didn't realize about our worth until my education. So bachelor degree, they're trying to just teach you to survive, to try to prove to you belong, right? And then master, kind of a little bit better. But when I was doing doctor, that's when my mind was like open, you know, learning from all these great leaders of all time, across time and culture. And then when I start writing, is like everything become really clear. We were born worthy. Nothing can take away from us because we got everything we need inside to do. But that's why it make me write thinking well framework, because I want to teach people how to do it calmly and peacefully and joyfully, not stressing out. So that's how I come about with the thinking well.
Oh,
Did I
wow.
answer your question?
Thank you so much. I mean, that was in a nutshell
Yeah.
your memoir series, and thank you for giving us a little bit of a taste of how refugee life was. And can you share your earliest like memory? You talked about money wasn't always there, but can you share what your earliest memory around money?
Okay. I think I was mentioned a little bit earlier in the village life. I look back, how come we just trying to live day to day? Like when we grew rice, we just plan for just enough for the family. But we
Yeah.
have all this land. I don't think we look far ahead. We're just trying to survive one season to the next season, right? We never think about worth or wealth. When I look back, it's like, wow, I wish, but we can't blame them because how they were raised, right? How the
Yeah.
family was raised. And then in the refugee, you don't have, you're just grateful for what you have. And then over time, through my life experience, my career, my education, I start thinking about at that time. I think I kind of touched on it already. You're just trying to prove yourself. The question is like, am I enough? Like when you at work,
Mhm.
you work so hard, you give so hard because you wanna do more, accomplish more,
Yeah.
have more, just
Yeah.
more, more, more. But you never feel completely satisfied,
Because there's
right?
always something else you're chasing, right? You're always
Yes.
chasing something, chasing the next thing, proving the
Uh-huh.
next thing, keeping up with the Joneses, they talk
Yes.
about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But as you realize now, you're never gonna be enough,
Yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
that's how we were taught to think like that.
Hmm.
Even people everywhere, right? They get stuck in that cycle. Do more, have more. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just stuff. It's just stuff everywhere. But then what I learned is that through all this experience and reading and education, what really makes you completely happy is to live aligned with your worth.
Hmm.
To do that, you have to be aware that you are worthy already, right? That's
Yeah.
the first place. You have to be aware that you are worthy. You don't need to chase.
Hmm.
And then you live from that place
Yeah.
instead of chasing, like what you were saying. That
Yeah.
way, you are really like building the life that really align with how you were born.
Hmm.
What make you feel like you're happy? Am I happy with my choice? Am I at peace with my choice?
Hmm.
Am I kind to myself, kind to other, and
Yeah.
building the life that make me feel good?
Right.
That's I kind of answered the question about you. That's how I feel day to day. It's based on how I live, not what I have.
Right. Right. When in your career, your professional career, did you realize that, wait a minute, that I keep chasing this
Mm,
education because I feel like I have to prove myself, I prove my worthiness to being here in the US, prove that I belong. Was there
yeah,
a point in your career where you just like, no, this isn't aligned with my purpose. I'm already worthy.
exactly. So when I was from the beginning until all the way to the middle of my doctor program, that I start seeing, like you said, wait a minute, this,
Uh-huh.
you know,
Yeah.
all my life I keep trying to tell myself I'm broken. I need to be fixed. I'm not enough.
Uh-huh.
I need more to make myself enough and to make myself feel good. I need to please that person. I need to have stuff. I need more degree. I need more, of this and that. But
Yeah.
by toward the middle of my doctor program, I realized from reading about all of these great leaders across times and cultures, including, I start looking more of what Buddha teaching, what
Mhm.
Jesus was teaching. I start looking even Muhammad Gandhi. I mean,
Yeah.
Martin Luther King. I
Yeah.
went, and Oprah Winfrey, what do they
Uh-huh.
have in
Yeah.
common? I mean,
Right.
I didn't care. I just, I just want to understand how,
Yeah.
you know. So that's when I realized this, what I've been doing, just stress myself out, make myself
Mm.
sick, watching other people doing the same thing. So that's when the quite big questions start, making clear. But
Yeah.
in 2000, early 2000, I start writing about my memoir. I start with the village life, and then the picture come more clear. The answer just right there. You really need to know, believe, and trust, and live from your worth. So
Hmm.
the more I write, the more it become clear. That's when I start, wait a minute, I really need to help people see this truth.
Yes.
Nobody can ever take away from us. The great leader said, you are worthy simply because you exist.
Right. 100%. It is our
Yes,
birth.
but we
Yeah.
none of us were taught that.
No.
I
Right.
want, yeah, that's why I want to start with the, middle and high school. That's my first book. And then the second book, it's already came in my head. I want to write for early career to mid career professional
Mhm.
to help them think through this. And then I even have my third book in my head already. This is gonna be
Yeah.
leader for leaders. So when they have question how to do it, it's a guide. It's a how to book. It's not a memoir.
Yeah.
I know we're supposed to focus on the memoir, but I can't talk about just memoir without talking about the framework, because the memoir, it said
Mhm.
this is what I live.
Yeah.
But the thinking well framework, it's how I live. I want to help you to do the same.
I think it makes a lot of sense that it's a
Yes.
how that it becomes a how-to, because I feel like the healing and the stories that you share are so foundational to how we lead. Y-
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. After I start my doctor program, right in the middle, I start realizing something's not right. Something
yeah,
like why I have to keep trying to prove that I'm worthy to be
uh-huh,
anywhere, worthy to be me. And I start realizing it. I'm not broken. I
mhm,
don't need to be fixed. I am enough as I am,
mhm,
because we were born to be worthy. And I also said something about we are worthy simply because we exist. You know, the leaders, great leaders and teacher throughout the time, they keep saying different way, but the meaning is the same. You are worthy. Nothing
yeah,
can be taken away. You can look at Bible, you can look at what Buddha taught, and in great leader of all time, they say the same thing, but it's different way, right? They're
right,
trying to teach the same thing, but different way.
yeah.
So I think I kind of answer that.
That's
Yeah.
the secret that no one knows about. If we could believe in ourselves and have that
Mhm.
mindset that we are born worthy, that we are capable of greatness, you know,
Yes. Yes.
that would change so much. That it's okay to try and fail, because
Yes.
that's how you learn. I mean, I feel like we get so caught up in our heads that we talk ourselves out, right? Because
Yes.
we don't want, we're scared of people like
Failing.
failing and being rejected.
Mhm.
And to the point where we shoot ourselves in the foot. We don't even try.
Yes, and the high school, it just, I know the high school, it's not only we were, well, when I started, I was 18, that I already passed that. But I feel like high school, it's really a place that they trying to mold you,
Mhm.
but because your body is going through the hormone,
Yeah,
body change,
right.
um, they trying to fit in, that can, deter you from, make you forget that you're worthy.
Hmm.
High school, it was really hard for everybody, right?
Hmm.
Because our physical state was still developed and changed. Our brain
Yeah.
was being developed and changed. And
Hmm.
then I don't blame the teacher, because they were raised to be like that, right?
Hmm.
The way we were raised, really, like,
Hmm.
I think it keeps saying you are not enough. You have to do more, right?
Right.
But I think that's why I have to start from our students. And in
Hmm.
my first book, not only for the student, right? It's for educators, it's for parents, for anybody who want to start. Like, wait a minute, I have to start thinking
Yeah.
better so I can make better decision. But
Right.
the foundation of the whole thinking well is you have to know you are worthy
Hmm.
to begin with. If you're
Yeah.
not worthy to begin, you don't know that, don't believe that, the foundation is not going to work,
Right.
because that's what it based on.
That's so true.
Yes.
Wouldn't that be amazing? Because you're right. I mean, in high school, teachers are very focused on teaching you theory, application, so much information. And even now, we're starting to see gaps that they're filling, where they're trying now to teach financial literacy,
Mm-hmm.
just things like that.
Yes.
It would be great if they could take a holistic approach. and think about, you know, the mindset as well, this the body, spirit, and
Yes.
wouldn't that, and mind, right? Wouldn't that be amazing?
Yes.
I'm just throwing it out there. That would be
Yes.
amazing if we were to have the thinking well philosophy framework
Uh-huh.
coupled with, you know, the education. I think kids, youth will come out knowing that they're worthy
Hmm.
and educated, and
Yes.
they will, I truly believe that they will find their purpose in life faster because we
Yes.
spend so much of our time trying to find it, but we don't
Yes.
find it until we know within ourselves. We
Uh-huh.
find that truth within ourselves, and sometimes it takes us 20, 30 years after we've left high school, right?
Exactly. So we forget. I think high school is focusing more about physical world, our physical body, the physical thing that we can have, you know. But we were first the spiritual.
Yeah.
I don't know if I told you this. So if you know you're a spiritual being, you have all you need. You come here for a purpose. You have all the worthy thing that you need inside, the gift, the love, the treasure.
Yeah.
You are only the person. Nobody is a copy like
Yes.
you know, because even if you do the same thing, you still have different background, different interpretation of life.
Right.
So from that, you know your worth. It's cannot be taken away, right? The spiritual. But
Mhm.
then you really help me think about how, you know, how you meditate, how you make sure you center yourself before
Yes.
we start, you know, each meeting, each podcast.
Mhm.
But that's what I said. You return to the truth about you.
Yeah.
You grounded yourself. Okay, I'm physical, but I'm spiritual first. Let's
Yeah.
ground myself. Let's be in this moment.
Yes.
Yeah, the true self. You have. I know. I'm probably thinking ahead. What I
Mm.
want the listener to know that you should always remember you're worthy. That's when you like. I need to ground myself. Like when I get angry or
Yeah.
upset and said, okay, wait a minute. I need to do a, a deep breathing. Quick. I
Yeah.
need to
Right.
return to my truth.
Right.
You need to return to your truth. Your
Yes.
truth is I'm worthy. I'm enough. I'm not broken. So you
Yeah.
just need to pause.
Yes.
That's one thing. Just always go back to your truth. Your truth is you are worthy, you love, you are treasure, you are capable.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it,
Oh,
yeah,
100%. I love
yes.
that. I love that. I find that it's interesting. I think you and I, it really resonated with me when you talked about, you started, as you were doing your doctorate, you're reading about the philosophies of leaders, and that encouraged you to write your memoir. So you wrote your memoir before you were a refugee.
Mhm.
You wrote that midway through your doctorate or after your doctorate?
Oh, midway,
Okay.
I graduated from my doctor in 2009.
Okay.
So I already you know, I have to go back. You know, like when you're aware, that's when you can improve. First you have to aware what's going on and then you can improve, right?
Right.
So to be aware, you start writing. You just people that journal,
Mhm.
they come to know themselves better. Okay.
Yes. Oh,
So
100%.
the
Yeah.
more you journal about your feeling,
Mhm.
I I have notes everywhere. I in my car I have a notebook, in my purse I have a notebook, in my
Yeah.
backpack. When something comes in my head, I write it down. I
Mhm.
question it, and then next thing you know, that I start collecting all this story.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
talked about it yesterday. Buddha is the awakening one, awakened one, right?
Mhm.
Because he was aware of what's going on with the way his life was. So
Mhm.
journaling is really help. If you master your mind, you
Yeah.
master the world, right?
Yes,
The
yes.
first battle is your mind. If you
That's so
master your
true.
mind, you can overcome anything. To master your mind, you have to start reflecting,
Mhm.
pausing, asking, is this the truth? Or because the mind can play a trick on you, right?
Right. Right.
So you start asking, wait a minute, is this real or is it my mind's playing trick on me? You have to base
Mhm.
on facts and then make a decision that feel right for you. at
Right.
that moment. You
Mm-hmm.
don't have to figure out the whole future today.
Right.
All you need to do is take one action, one step,
Yeah.
and it's gonna lead to the next. So I
Yeah.
try not to overwhelm people. I don't want the book that I'm thinking about
Mm-hmm.
one step at a time. That's all you need to do because
Right.
the next step gonna show itself. But
Right.
you have to base on, does it feel right to you?
Right.
It truly right for you based on your work.
I think that's a great framework. Because I'm in the biotech arena, and I think sometimes when there's ambiguity, when it's not always
Unsure.
clear what
Yeah,
yeah, you're
uncertain,
not
right?
always uncertainty, and you're not always sure what direction to take. Sometimes results come out and there are many pathways, right? But I
Yeah.
think you make the decisions based on, like you said, you collect your facts, you
Mm-hmm.
think through methodically. And I think the important thing you mentioned is making a decision because the next step could in fact reveal itself, and then you can always pivot, being
Yes,
and being comfortable with that because it's not always going to be perfect, right?
exactly.
Yeah, but if
Exactly.
you get into that understanding and having that ability
Mm.
to make these decisions and sort of like rebound,
Yes.
and if you have the ability to do it quickly, I think that's where success is. And I
Yes.
tell my kids about that is like the ability to rebound and be resilient, because that to me is resilience. And I just reading through your books, I mean, you've had so many stories left and right where you could have easily folded,
Yes.
you know, but you stuck it through. And there was just, there was hope. You have always had this in you.
But I didn't know it at the time.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it. I start until mid doctorate program and start writing it. The
Hmm.
more I wrote, the more clear it became
Yeah.
that I'm talking to you. You have it in you. I have it in me. Everybody have it in them.
Right. Right.
Yes. So what stop people is that they're afraid.
Hmm.
They're afraid to fail. They're afraid to look bad. They're
Yeah.
afraid to disappoint. But the thinking well will help you take one step because that step will lead you to the next step.
Right. Right.
Because the thinking well is the loop. What make the loop move is you take one step and that step going to give you information. Should I
Right.
turn a little bit more to the left or turn more to the right or go straight?
Right.
Or because that little step going to help
Yeah. Yeah.
you see your next step clear if you need to improve. It's
Yeah.
a thinking
Yeah.
loop.
Yeah. Oh, I love that thinking
Yeah.
loop.
Yes.
Love it. Well, I want to ask you this idea of productivity and having to perform. Growing up, where did you see that? Just reading from your books,
Uh-huh.
I can tell your mom played a really big role in your life. Would you say, in terms of the beliefs around productivity and hustling, who played that role in your life, gave you those beliefs that you needed to hustle, that you needed to be productive? And can you share a little bit about that?
I think when we were in the village, we just knew we had to help, right?
Hmm.
As soon as you know how to, you can stand up and reach, you know, go get the vegetable, you go pick the vegetable. Since you could do it and then you wash the vegetable and dice vegetable, you, we were just born to know that we need to help, we should help. And then we want to please our parents, right? We want to help. That's one way we show our love, to help other people, you help the family.
Hmm.
But the really really hustling, because from the family we know we have responsibility, because that's how we were born with. When we serve other people, make us feel better, right?
Hmm.
But when about real hustling, it's when I came to the United States. Everybody's like,
Hmm.
oh, go work, you have to buy a car, you have to have a house, you have to have this and that, right? You start hustling. But it
Mm.
got really bad when I went to be a engineer, right? You have
Ah.
to develop, not only you finish school, you have to compete with your colleague now. Like
Hmm.
if you do better, you get a raise, and then you do better, you get more raise. Continue to hustle, hustle.
Yeah.
I think that's how it ingrained to society, right? You have to do more to get more, to do more. But the more you do, the more you don't feel. You want more, you want more. It never ends.
Yeah. Did you receive that like from, you said society? Was it like from your own family, or was it more
My,
inside you? Like,
it's okay. Inside me, I know I want to do good.
right.
Whatever I do, I want to do well. I don't want just. I
Yeah.
believe me. I heard somebody when I was the president of Lao PSCA.
Mhm.
I want it to be successful. Okay, I want the whole San Diego to know that we are gonna have fundraising, right?
Mhm.
And I want people to pass out the flyer, talk to people, right? One
Mhm.
gentleman, he said, "Whatever, whoever show up, that's fine." I said, "It's not fine." I want everybody to know, remind him, so we because the career make me taught me that I need to hustle. I need to do best in everything. But
Mhm.
but our elderly people said, "Oh, they got like out." That was not for me.
Uh,
But but my mom, what I learned from my mom is that she always forgives. She always love, or she with her heart. I learned the love from her, unconditional love,
yeah.
selfless love. She's like your mom. They give everything they have. They'll give you their heart if you need it. You know, that's what I tell my kids. I love you so much. Even if you need my heart, you can have it. I learned that from my mom. I learned that from our mom, right?
Mhm.
Even though they don't say I love you, but they're gonna give everything they have for you.
Yeah.
But the big thing is she always forgive. My dad, oh my goodness. You have a
I
little story in the those
I
two books.
yeah.
Forgive, forgive, forgive.
Mhm.
So I watch her, I learn from her. We are nobody's perfect, right? I am not perfect. I don't say I'm perfect because I'm a work in progress. But
Mhm.
I'm enough as I am, a
Yeah.
working in progress.
Yeah.
So I learned the love, the forgiveness, unconditional selfless from my mom.
Mhm.
Okay. She always said, forgive your dad, forgive. But I learned the real hustle
Mhm.
from the society, from the
Yeah.
Jones that you want to compete with. But then, after decades later, you realize,
Yeah.
you know, what real happiness, long lasting happiness is to know your worth and
Oh,
live from it. Yes.
I love that. You talked about happiness and worthiness. If you can share with our listeners how you are redefining success right now.
Okay.
How do you define success right now?
It's much simpler
Hmm.
now, especially I retired 2025 in January. My success is simpler. It's how I live each day.
Hmm.
I kind of thought, am I happy and I am at peace with my choice? This is just a daily. I trying to be moment, right? Your cousin Derek said, moment to be in the moment. Like you meditate, grounded yourself. So I do each day. Is today I make all the choices that I'm happy with.
Hmm.
Was I kind to myself? Was I kind to my people that around me, to others, right?
Hmm.
Am I building something that I'm really proud of?
Yeah.
So that's success. I just go by day
Yeah.
because I'm at the place of my life that I don't need to stress out anymore.
Yes.
But the main thing, all of that, it came from knowing your truth, your worth.
I love that. That's beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. If you wanted to give a message to our listeners to take with them from
Mhm.
today's topic, what would that message be?
This is something I come back to often. Like I was saying, I know I'm a work in progress.
Mhm.
I always remind myself that I'm already worthy and I pause, see what's really happening,
Mhm.
choose what feels right to me,
Mhm.
and take one step, one action. That's all. Then move forward to build your life that you're really proud of. You can do it.
Yes.
If I
Yeah.
can do it, you can do it. Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness. Now, you are so inspirational, and I'm sure you have had role models in your life. Now, can you share a little bit about who has made an imprint on you? Who do you see as inspiration and role models?
My mom taught me to be, to always forgive and then to love with all your heart. But
Mhm,
that's my role model from love point of view.
mhm,
But I was saying before, I have been influenced by so many great leaders and teachers, including Jesus and Buddha. And through that, they taught us to be aware, to live with awareness, to
mhm,
live with kindness and patience, right? That's they may taught differently, but that's how I boiled it down to. Along
mhm,
with my life experience, my career education, the lesson have shaped me. How I see the world, how I see worth, how I live today. So not just one, because everybody has something to teach. So this is what I told my kid: learn everything from anything,
mhm.
because we all have something to share, to
Yes.
uplift each other and to encourage each other.
Oh, it's great. I love that. Learn
Everything
and
you can from
everything from
anything.
anything.
Yeah,
I
yes,
love it.
because we all have a lesson to share, to
Mhm,
encourage from.
mhm, mhm. I love that.
Thank you.
Now, you have so many wonderful quotes in your book. Is
Yes.
there a favorite quote that
Oh,
you would love to share with our listeners?
well, the one I share with you, I use it a lot because it boiled down to we are not an island. We need to help each other.
Yes.
So I can't really remember his name, but the quote said something like, "We are each an angel with one wing.
Mhm.
To fly, we have to embrace each other." That's
Yes.
not word by word, but that's how I translate it. So
Yes.
that's my favorite.
Yes.
I use it a lot when I talk at church, when I talk at school,
Mhm.
and I share with you.
I love it. And with that, I want to thank you, Dr. Maat. You are such an inspiration, and
Thank you.
you are definitely an angel. And with you, I know that others are flying and taking flight
Thank
because, yeah, your light is so bright and beautiful and so pure. And I thank you for sharing your stories with us. I'm looking forward to book 3 in your series, and it's called The Language of Freedom.
you. Freedom, yes.
Yes. Okay.
It's if you
And
like book two, book three gonna be
even
it's
better.
gonna keep going up.
I cannot wait. And I hope that our listeners do take a look at them. I will put them in the description from this interview. And thank
Okay.
you so, so much for joining us on Rooted and Becoming podcast. And I cannot, yeah, I cannot wait to support you and to see you share your knowledge with our community. Just wishing you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sister.
Thank you. Samli, thank you. Thank you for your wisdom. Thank you for your clarity and the gentle yet powerful reminder that our worth has never been something outside of us to chase. It has always lived within us. Your words invite us to slow down, to think well, and to build our lives not from fear or scarcity, but from truth, intention, and purpose. For those of you listening, I hope this conversation stays with you, that it meets you in the quiet moments when you're making decisions, when you're questioning your value, when you're choosing whether to play small or step fully into who you are. Because the business of being worthy is not just about what we create in the world, it's about how we see ourselves while we're creating it. And when we shift that lens, everything changes. As we close out this month's theme, we now turn to something even deeper, something that lives in our lineage, in our stories, in the women who came before us. Episode 10, Breaking the Mother Line. In our next conversation, we explore generational trauma carried through our mothers and grandmothers, the patterns, the pain, the silence, and the profound responsibility and opportunity we have to heal it. What does it mean to break cycles without breaking connection? How do we honor the women who came before us while choosing a different path forward? And what becomes possible when one woman decides it ends with me? This next chapter is about courage. It's about compassion. And it's about rewriting the inheritance we pass on. Until then, take a moment for yourself. Reflect on where you may still be outsourcing your worth and gently call it back home. You are worthy beyond measure. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye. Please follow and subscribe at Goldtree Co. Stay rooted and becoming and worthy beyond measure. Thank you for staying until the end of the episode. At Goldtree Co, we believe anyone can start building wealth with intention. With as little as $500, you can step into real estate angel investing, gaining access to vetted opportunities normally reserved for big players. This is about more than returns. It's about creating stability today, freedom tomorrow, and a legacy that lasts for generations. Your money works for you while you focus on what matters most. Ready to grow with us? Visit goldtreeco.com and book your complimentary meeting with me now. And let's plant seeds of wealth together.